Hello and welcome to our very first YIG training session video. Today we're going to be discussing some broad strokes details about the conference and just giving you an orientation. I'll turn things over to your officers for today. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Olivia Felker, and I am Speaker Pro Temp of the White Senate for the TriStar Conference.
Hi, I'm Comfort Markway, and I'm your Speaker of the White House for the Capitol Conference.
And hi, I'm Gerrica Jones, and I am your Blue House Floor Leader of the Capitol Conference.
Youth in Government is a 4-day experiential learning conference where delegates model the different roles and functions of Tennessee state government. At YIG, the procedures and practices are based on the real-life example of Tennessee's governor, General Assembly, and Supreme Court. Delegates at Youth in Government work together to draft and pass legislation, rule on court cases, pass a balanced budget, and report on the process. So there are many ways you can participate. The first being the General Assembly. So members of the House of Representatives and Senate draft and debate legislation. A bill team may consist of between 1 and 3 delegates, depending on which chamber you're in. There are 3 sets of houses and senates for a total of 6 chambers per conference. Check the chart on our website to figure out which one you would be in. Red is the most experienced chamber, and blue is for the least experienced teams. So each bill team must submit 1 bill before the final deadline, and at the conference, you will spend your first day in committee presenting your bill and debating other bills. At the end of committee, you will rank the bills that you've heard, and that ranking will be used to determine the chamber docket. You will spend the rest of your time in chamber, which would be House or Senate, hearing the top-ranked bills from different committees, as well as bills that have already passed in the opposite chamber. Any bill passed in both chambers will go to the cabinet to be debated and potentially signed by the governor.
My name is Ethan Beggy. I served as Commissioner of Education during the 2020 Youth in Government Conference, also known as the 2020 YIG Conference. Due to the pandemic, we were online. To start, the Governor's Cabinet, often called in shorthand GovCab, consists of the governor and close advisors known as commissioners, of which there are around 10 to 15. If you think of the federal government, the various executive departments led by the members of the president's cabinet. States have those too. You know, the governor of Tennessee, much like the president of the United States, has a cabinet whose members oversee the executive branch departments. These advisors are critical to helping the governor decide whether to pass or fail bills, and at the end of it all, decide what's going to make it into the budget. To understand each department and make sure each member of GovCab is equipped with the knowledge to help lead their executive departments, essentially, each GovCab member is tasked with doing what's called a pre-conference assignment that will ask them to research their department, research the budget of their department, what their department does, and all of that, and provide an outline of what the department does and an outline of their specific goals as commissioners in the governor's cabinet, what they hope to accomplish with their time at GovCab. The governor's cabinet will see bills that have been passed by the legislature at Youth in Government and will decide whether it is right for the governor to pass those bills or whether it is right for the governor to veto those bills. And there's going to be a lot of considerations such as money, whether a policy will be good or bad. But at the end of it all, the governor, along with the governor's cabinet, is going to craft a budget. And that budget, which will be sent to the legislature, will determine essentially that budget will be what the government of Tennessee in the Youth in Government simulation is run on. As well, the governor must give a state of the state address to which the members of the governor's cabinet will help write. You know, if the governor wants you to speak on a particular topic, then you pretty much have the floor. It's not really as formal, and it's a very fun environment, I think, to participate in the GovCab. for people who are really interested in the, interested in the nitty gritty details of policy.
Okay, so another way to participate in YIG would be through the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court consists of two-person lawyer teams, and before the conference, teams will receive a case packet outlining a real Tennessee Supreme Court case, and teams will then have to prepare legal briefs to be submitted prior to the conference. So I did Supreme Court my sophomore year of YIG, and basically my whole court case was on the Fourth Amendment and like the right of being protected from searches and seizures and stuff like that. And we had to prepare a brief, one for the case and one against the case. So that's basically what the Supreme Court is. And at the conference, teams would compete with other lawyer teams arguing the case in oral arguments before the chief and associate justices. The top teams in the senior and novice division will be given a new final case to argue. So if you are the top team in your senior or your novice division, then you will be given a new case at YIG, where you'll have to like research and write a new brief for and present the next day. So lawyer teams may also assist in judicial review to determine the constitutionality of different pieces of legislation.
Hi everyone, my name is Erika, and I will be head lobbyist this year at the TriStar conference. And I just wanted to let you know a little bit about the lobbyist component, because I know when I first started YIG, I was really confused about what lobbyists did. So at YIG, the lobbyist component is made up of 10 to 12 lobbyists, and it kind of mirrors the way lobbyists work in real Tennessee Congress. And what they do is they really work behind the scenes to try to influence legislation. So they're not like, they're not giving speeches and debating the way you might be if you were in a Senate team or in a House team. They're not really doing the public speaking. Their work is really behind the scenes, and it's really cool to see how much you can influence without directly influencing. So they support legislation, they oppose legislation, they may write speeches or op-eds. They can try to influence legislation by securing budgets for certain departments or projects, and they can also work with people from GovCab and different legislators that way to influence legislation. And so if that sounds interesting to you, the way you apply, it is application based. So you have to apply by the priority deadline. And then if you get accepted, you will complete a pre-conference assignment, which is basically just you look for a Tennessee bill and a YIG bill, and you write an argument for and against both of those bills. So you really have a foundation when you get to the conference of what you want to speak about and what you are interested in lobbying for and against. And so I would really encourage you to do this component if you aren't sure if you want to like be actually speaking in the conference. And also I find it like really engaging and exciting throughout the weekend, because you're not just delivering your like one speech on your single bill. You're really influencing and working throughout the conference on all levels, in the Senate, in GovCab, in different houses. It's very extensive and it's very fun throughout the whole conference. So yeah, I would really recommend becoming a lobbyist, and that's what it's about.
So the press corps consists of press delegates who report on current events and what's going on in the conference. So I was a press member my freshman year and became an officer that same year. So I was print blog editor. And yeah, so we utilized print, video, social media, and on a variety of different platforms, excuse me. And you'll cover a wide range of topics. Attending the governor's press conferences, you'll have a press conference with the governor one-on-one, and you'll tackle independent assignments while interviewing conference delegates, which is really enjoyable, getting perspective from what's going on in the conference and how people are thinking and feeling and what they're up to. Candidates getting to kind of get to know the candidates and report on them, their stances, their campaigning strategies, them as a person. You'll write articles, especially if you're in press, in print department of press, choosing on any topic, of course, within the YIG guidelines and everything. You get to report on any topic and write about it. Filming videos for those of you who are going to be in the video portion of the press department, and then creating quizzes that go in the app and a lot of other really creative stuff. So for those of you who may not find your place in legislature or in the Gov Cabinet or anything like that, press is a really nice creative outlet that does do a very good job of integrating its members into the conference. So I would definitely recommend that for you guys. As you guys can see, we're all officers here, and many of us have held multiple officer positions throughout our years at YIG and MUN. So running for office is actually quite simple as far as procedure goes. So offices that are the governor, speaker of the houses, lieutenant governors, and floor leaders do have to run for their position and deliver a speech. Every delegate at the conference does vote for these positions. So you will be required to give a pre-recorded speech and submit a candidate op-ed prior to the conference, and you'll be invited to participate in the candidate town hall, which is a very fun event, of course digital, that allows you to introduce yourself to members of the conference and advocate for your campaign. And then we do have officer positions that don't require a speech. If you prefer to go a different route, you can apply for an officer position. Sergeant at Arms and clerks are the application-based officer positions, and these offices are selected based on the application, and they should be submitted prior to the final deadline, which is the same as, I believe, the same as when bills are due, that final deadline and stuff like that. And then we have officer positions that are strictly within the component. For example, the courts, lobbyists, and press. As I mentioned, being a press officer, that was voted on exclusively by members of the press. So when you do press, you're eligible to run for a position, seeing as you've completed your pre-conference assignment and you running your position. Same thing for courts. If you're in the court and you want to run to be a justice, you can do so in the court, and those positions are only voted on in the specific component.
And just to give everybody a brief rundown of what the entire schedule of the conference looks like, it will be bookended by an opening and closing ceremony. The opening ceremony will be pre-recorded and posted Thursday morning, so you'll have the availability to watch it on your own time or live stream it with everybody else. The closing ceremony will be held live on Sunday afternoon. That's when next year's officers and award winners will be announced. In between those two things, sessions will take place Thursday afternoon, throughout the day on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday morning and afternoon. There will be a lunch break and a dinner break on Friday and Saturday. Stretch breaks will also be built into the schedule to limit uninterrupted screen time. Optional social activities will take place on Friday and Saturday night. Plan to attend to meet new people. A variety of activities are being offered, so you can find one that's your speed. And then elections will also take place in between those days. So primary elections will take place on Friday if there are more than 3 gubernatorial candidates. The gubernatorial debate will take place on Thursday night. The candidate town hall will take place on Friday night. General elections for the candidates that make the runoff and all the other positions will take place on Saturday. Component elections take place within each component, typically on Saturday evening or Sunday morning.
So basically we have social activities at YIG, and the first one will be the candidate town hall. So this is where delegates who attend the candidate town hall can hear from candidates running for office and ask questions to the group. So those are the people who Comfort just mentioned about, like running for office. Here they can like share their platforms, share what they believe, all that type of stuff, so they can get people to vote for them, and people can attend so they know who they're voting for and get a better knowing or understanding of who they're voting for. We also have tomfoolery committee, which is personally my favorite. It's a place where like it's ran like a regular committee, and you submit a bill, but your bill doesn't have to be serious. It's like less serious, and it's a lot of fun. So if you have an idea for a joke bill, you submit it Friday night, and then you try to make it to the docket. So it's very chill atmosphere. We just come, we debate joke bills and stuff like that, and it's really fun. There's also a trivia night. So the trivia team competition is open to all delegates. You bring some friends and join a random team to meet some new people. So it's always great meeting new people at YIG. I know personally I've built long-lasting friendships with people from YIG, like who I would never thought I'd be like join forces with, but it's great. So I would really encourage trivia night so you can meet new people and build long-lasting friendships. Typically on trivia night, the categories are movies, music, sports, history, science, and geography. So it's really well. I know the officers played this one night and it was really fun. So I would suggest trivia night. And then there's game night. So join us for Among Us, Uno, or a scavenger hunt. And like, honestly, who doesn't want to play Among Us?
One piece of boring advice I just want to get on camera is if you are nervous about the conference or you've never done it before, this is the first year that we're doing a virtual YIG, which means that almost all of it is going to be run through the Youth in Government app. As soon as you register, you'll start getting information about this, and about a week before the conference, we will send out the actual app itself. I highly recommend playing around with the app like a week in advance of the conference as soon as you get that email. That way you sort of understand the way the schedule looks, where all the documents you need to access are, and also how to join each Zoom session. All of that will be done through the app, and all of it will be detailed in the books and guides that come out around the app. We are also going to post a little bit of a video about how to use the actual app in the opening ceremony. So just make sure you watch that if you're nervous about the conference, because that's how all of it is going to run.
Personally, wish that I knew a little bit more about Parley Pro going into my first conference. So I wish I had utilized the resources on YIG's website that help you prepare for your component, I guess.
Yeah. And I'll also say that there will be a training video specifically available about debate and Parley Pro. We'll try to include some example debate in there. So if debate is something that makes you nervous, make sure to tune back in for our debate and parliamentary procedure training video.
I know for me, I wish I would have been more social my first year. So I vividly remember Bethany Dockery. She was my floor leader my first year. And she really tried to push me to like talk to people. And I just would not talk to people. And my first year, I did not make any friends, basically, like any bonds. But okay, I came in sophomore year with like a different attitude. And I really made some great bonds that like, I'm a senior now, that I still talk to every day. Like, so I just wish I would have been a little bit more social my freshman year. I feel like I would have enjoyed it just a little bit more. Because really the people around you like make up your YIG experience. Like, I don't know. I just wish I would have been a little bit more social.
I definitely advocate towards what Gerrica said, is to be social and talk to people from other schools that you've never seen before, because it's not only can you make some really amazing friendships, but you just get to meet a lot of new people and learn from them, you know. And then officer positions, run as a freshman. Run as a freshman. I know I ran as a freshman for press, and I think that is the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, because that gives you so much experience with the conference. And then the officers especially are fantastic people, and getting to work, as we said, like in the intro, it's a student run conference, an officer run conference. So when you are working with a whole group of people as one unit to make the entire conference run so smoothly, it's just a really, really good feeling that is like hard to describe and like unparalleled. So I strongly recommend that if you are thinking about running, especially as a freshman, just do it, because the worst thing that can happen is you lose and then you run again. So yeah.
And I will add, for first-time students, most of them sign up to participate in House and Senate. I think it's a really good balance of pre-conference work and then setting your own pace at the conference. When you're working together with a bill team to draft a bill, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not too much work compared to some of the other more intensive components. You guys can often divide it up in ways that make sense. And we also are putting out 2 videos, one on researching your bill and a second on writing your bill, that should help make that process easier. Once you're at the conference, you can participate as much or as little as you like in committee, which is one of the things that's really nice about House or Senate. So if you feel strongly about a piece of legislation, you can speak on it. And if you don't, you can kind of hang back and just listen to other people's opinions and just kind of express your beliefs through voting. So it can adjust to be the sort of conference experience you want. For that reason, a lot of people start there. But if you're interested in Supreme Court or press, there's definitely benefits in starting early and building up a lot of experience in those components. So the conference can be a lot of different things depending on what you're looking to get out of it.